so step number 1 is to substitute, and you would follow this method if one variable is solved for already. So for example, y equals y is solved for. So step number 1 is you substitute that one variable that's solved for, you substitute that into the other equation. You follow your distribution combining like terms when necessary. Payson, what's step number 2?
Step number 2 is solve.
Yeah, so you've created a large equation, you've simplified it by distributing and combining like terms, and now you're ready to be in solving mode. Most of these look like buddy system questions. So go ahead and get your solving, and you'll either get x equals something or y equals something. A couple of examples we've seen x equals. You can also see y equals for the first one. It just depends. Okay, BL, what's step number 3? Substitute again. Once you have your first variable, it's like it's a variable by itself. You put it into one of the equations. It doesn't technically matter, but the one with the variable that's already solved for, y equals blah, 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 or x equals blah, 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 will be very little work. So that'll be your best option, but you can do either and you'll still end up with the same answer. Okay? And Natalia, what's step number 4? It says it right there. Right there on the front page. The bottom.
Oh yeah, celebrate and check.
Celebrate? Yay, I got an answer. Make sure it goes in ordered pair form and check. How do we check? What do I mean by check?
On the graph.
On the graph. Remember, these are 2 lines and their intersection point should of course be 4, 3. That means we did it correctly. Okay. Questions on our first example? Okay. Take a minute and just individually read through the second example in our notes. Remind yourself how we did that. Second example in your notes. That means I should see your page open because you're going to the second example. BL. Next page, Ajay. Just on your own. Read through your 4 steps. Does anybody have any part of this they need me to go over? Okay. Then on Friday, we did basically numbers 1 through 12. So 11 is just the steps, but we were all finishing up number 12. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing the work up here. If you are done, cool, just sit for a quick second. If you are working through it, get yourself back into it and finish the problem. Most of you had like x equals 2 at the very end, but you had to go back and solve for y. So go ahead and do that now, please. That way we can all check when we're all done. Okay? Kalia, we're going to be doing 13 later. You can work on number 14 if you want. I said just to finish up number 12, which I think you may have already done. I just want to make sure we're all good on number 12 before we move on. Oops. We all should have been at least at the x equals 2 part. Okay. So Latif, now that I have x equals 2, what am I going to do? Can't check it yet. I have to have a full answer before I can check it. Substitute again. Remember up here, step number 3, substitute again. Okay. It doesn't matter, but what would you guys prefer? The first equation or the second equation?
What do you mean?
So I can plug in to either x plus y equals 10, or I can plug it in to y equals 4x. They will both get me the same answer. So if I plug in regardless if I have x equals 2. So if I choose the first equation and I put in x equals 2, I have a little equation that I have to solve. Or you can use mental math. 2 plus what is 10? 8. So y equals 8. That's if I use the first equation to substitute it back into. If I use the second equation, 4 times x, 4 times 2, 8. Done. Okay? So that's what I mean when I say it doesn't matter which one you plug it into, but one of them will be a little shorter. The one where it already has a variable by itself, that'll be your fastest version. Okay? So I have the work already over there. Y equals 8. So I put my answer in an ordered pair. X always goes first, Y always goes second. Questions on the algebra? You don't need to do both substitutions over there. You just do one, okay? Don't do both. That's silly. Then we check, which you'll be doing with the Chromebook on your next couple of problems. I just want to do this one with you. I put in x plus y equals 10 and y equals 4x. And lo and behold, they intersected at what point? 2, 8. So I did all my math correctly. Okay? All right, so there is your digestion review. We are going to continue work, but I'm going to have you guys skipping a couple of problems. I only want you to focus on a couple of them today. And you're going to check all of your answers with the Chromebook. Okay? So you are going to do, it's actually up there on the board. We already did 12. You're going to do 14. Don't cross off 13. You're going to do it later. Okay? So go and circle. Today you're going to do 14. 15, and 17. Go ahead and circle those right now. Do not cross off the others. We will do them at another day, on another day. 14, 15, 17 is up there on the board. Okay? Either when you're done with number 14, go get a Chromebook, check it, or when you're done with all three of them, go get a Chromebook and check all three at the same time. I don't care what your method is. Put some headphones on, that's fine with me. I will show 14 on the board. Oh, by the way, 14 looks just like number 10. So take a second and think about how it should be starting to set up, and I'll check with y'all in about 1 minute. Okay? So number 14 looks just like we did with number 10. We should have written something off the side for number 10.
That's what we're supposed to do in the period.
Yeah, so that's what you're supposed to do on the computer. But yes. Because on the computer, I have them all scanned in there.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What is it? It's on the
Yeah. So if you go to the school website and find my name, they're
I
all.
can do that also.
Yep. Exactly.
Thank you.
You weren't here on Friday, right? Or were you? Okay. So you need to try working through this. See what you can, but then also do that on the computer. Because we did work together. Yeah. Work on the computer. We can come back to you. See if you can pick some of it up. I know I can help you. Right? All right. So how you gonna start number 14? We didn't write that. Oh, you were. I did. This is just. No, you didn't. You didn't write stuff. No, 4. Yeah. I see very few of you wrote stuff for number 10 like you were supposed to. On number 10, I wrote up here on the board, so whatever I write, you write. Mostly. Look up for number 10. So you can do number 14. Number 10, they're both solved for y. So if y is equal to y, because you guys all agreed with that on Friday, then that means that each of the things that are equal to y are also equal to each other. So this basically gets substituted in for the first y, and this gets substituted in for the second y. So then that's my equation that I have to solve. Notice one equation, one variable. I've done my substitution step, just looks a little bit different. Okay, number 14 is the exact same way. If y is equal to y, substitute the first thing in for the first y, and the second thing in for the second y. you should have 8x equals, that's your first y. So your second y, 4x plus 24. You can go ahead and solve for x and continue from there.
There's 2x.
Yeah, you can solve that. Combine the x's across the equal sign. It's just like normal equation stuff. Move this x to be with that x. Remember? Why is that? Develop your idea of why. Negative 2x minus 3y.
Oh, okay.
Write your steps here too.
So that's
Step
6.
number 1. I don't know. Look at a Chromebook and check. So solve for x now. Move this x over there.
Please.
Okay, so let's see.
2x minus 2 negative 4y negative 5y.
Yeah, you're on a roll. You divided by, make sure you divide by a negative. So y equals negative 2. Yeah. We'll go back and solve for x. And you can move this over here. No.
Oh.
Use inverse operation. So what are you going to do, darling? Yeah.
What is that?
Can I ask you?
Oh, it's a y. Negative
You don't get the math.
Okay.
Good. Then go back and solve for x.
No, yeah, because yeah, no, it'd be
Solve.
you're solving first. Wait,
See how those there's things time between them? That means that they're not adding. So move it by doing inverse operation.
2 and then negative 2. Yeah. You guys, how did you guys set up? What the fuck is that?
I stole somebody's highlighter. Whose highlighter is yours?
So, no, right.
It's yours. Okay, well, let's finish this up.
Yeah, that was so
Okay. Well, let's come back to 2 examples you had.
Like I remember how to do it, but then right here, I also must.
Yeah. So that means you're going to
The
take.
number I got was so big. Like
Yeah. That's allowed. The numbers are allowed.
36.
Okay, so let's plug x equals 8 into one of these equations, which one do you think would be easier? I agree. So let's write it down then, right? So,
Isn't that what it was?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. That threw me off.
So, and it's not x. So you have y equals 8x. Y
Yes, wait, you said
y.
Wow.
Number 17.
That's how I did it at first when I was.
So then go to Desmos and then you graph both of those lines and you see if they actually in fact intersect there. Okay? All right. Subtract 4x from both sides. Divide by 4. Oh, you should have x equals 6, not x equals 8. That'll make a difference. Glad you're here. But you're on time. Yeah.
Under 17, there was this x minus y, so what is the 7? Like, there's the. This is this.
It's just in standard form. It doesn't make a difference. I don't know what your question is.
I don't know.
What's the variable that's by itself?
I don't know.
What letter is either x equals blah 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 or y equals blah blah blah? No, x isn't by itself. Look in the second equation. Yeah. Well, y is by itself. That means, just like you were supposed to do here, you plugged it in for x. And with that,
Oh, I thought this was.
I think that y equals 8x is much easier to deal with, so I'm going to plug in that. I'm going to get some answer. I'm going to put my answer here, then I'm going to go grab a Chromebook or move on to the next problem, whichever, and then graph y equals 8x, graph y equals 4x plus 24, and see if they, in fact, intersect with whatever answer you got. Huh? My word is okay. Look. Yeah, this one's interesting. So, okay, do me a favor. You always use parentheses, right? So here's what makes the difference in normally does.
I think I'll have them too.
So also it should be 7, not up with that, which is why you're ending up with 2 here. It's x minus y.
I think I will.
It's not that bad.
Like now thinking.
Yeah.
At least when I went to one. True. I mean, like 30.
Okay, make sure you push it back to find x. Oh, so you're doing right there? No. We're not doing 16. Not seeing. So yeah. No, you can leave it. You're gonna do it later. Just toss it back. Yeah.
No, because the x we said.
Negative times a negative is 8.
So I just need to.
Yes.
So negative 12, that's 5.2. And then. Oh, bother. I messed up. I'm retarded. I'm upside down. This is a y. This needs to be put for y. I even pointed to it and didn't do it. So that's my fault. Do you see the mistake I made? I sorted it back to put a y. Yeah, I was like, wait, we have 2 variables. That's wrong. So negative 2x
We're supposed to
minus
plug
3y.
it like x minus
Negative 7.
x minus 12 equals 7.
Like that.
That's the equation.
So, x equals.
Yeah.
How did we do?
That's not a good number. No,
Like we do all the other numbers.
Yeah.
What's that? Just substitute.
Where's
It's right.
Was it a single?
Not cross out your 4.
No, it's it's just like one, right? Like the game.
Yeah,
the
because there's
game
always
software.
letters.
You'll see if you look at X. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like Albona? You You like go on that trail, right? Like it's like flipping one. Yeah, it's like I went on it. And I was like, 20 minutes. That's scary. Like, oh, I really walk it. I mean, try one time thing though. That's like. It's too long for me. I was like, one time thing couldn't be the last time it's like I'm gonna try to try to understand. I don't think I'll ever use this one. Yeah. Stuff like that. I don't know. I just letters like figured out. I like exit. I'm about to look up this. Go back up here. Yeah. Okay, I'm stuck on this one. Still, because I don't understand.
Oh, wait, okay. So first of all, you're plugging into the wrong variable. Y is equal to 2x minus 12. So y is the one to solve for. So y is what you're putting into. You're putting into x. Yeah, which is why you're ending up with two variables. Thanks. All right, even though I have the answer on the board, please to get a Chromebook, graph it, make sure you see it. I want you to get used to the idea of checking your answers. You'll be able to do this on EOCs and SBACs too because they have graphing available. So even though they don't give you a graph, either you can get some graph paper and you can graph it, or you can use the graphing function on the computer and you can actually graph it and check your answer that way. I want you guys to be in that habit. I should probably find out what time class is. Good, and then write equals 7 at the end. Wait, wasn't I supposed to? Yes. Well, sort of. So then let's back up. First of all, it's x minus y equals 7. So write equals 7 on the end. Okay. Second of all, this is a hard part. I gotta make sure I catch everybody on this one. This is a negative 1. Put a little 1 in front of the parentheses. Because whenever you subtract, it's special. So what that means is negative 1 is distributed. Also, are these like terms?
Yeah,
But you can multiply them. But you can't. So there's a subtraction sign between them. You can't. I subtract. Right.
Or ask.
No. Yeah. So what you need to do next is multiply that negative 1 times the 2x and negative 1.
Wait, you said the 1 or the x?
Both. It gets distributed. Okay, there is something special in number 17 that I want you guys to see. Everybody, eyes up here, no matter what number you're on. Eyes up here. So, if I have x plus, next. If I have x plus 7. Eyes up here. Eyes up here, all of them. If I have this, there's something in there that we never talk about because it doesn't affect us. There is technically a 1 in front of that. So if I wanted to, I can distribute this 1. But does multiplying by 1 change the answer?
No.
No, which is why we never talk about doing it. But it is there. It is something that exists. We just don't need to talk about it. When it does matter, BL, eyes up here, is when that happens. Because instead of just being a positive 1, it is now a negative 1. Does multiplying by a negative 1 change your answer?
Yes.
Wait, yeah.
It does. So whenever you see that, a negative directly in front of parentheses, it's a negative 1, and it needs to be distributed. It's a really weird thing that happens. We saw it in first semester. It's just been a while. We saw a little bit. We didn't do a lot of practice with it. But it's going to show up from time to time with these. So, for example, on number 17. Just happens to be a 7. But x minus y equals 7. When you substitute in for y, you always use parentheses when you substitute. So you're going to have a negative and then a parentheses right next to it. That means you have a -1 that you need to distribute. Okay? All right. So we are working on 15 and 17. If you should be done with 14 at this point.
Is this? So a negative times a positive is the negative except 1. You'll need to write it twice. What? Just write it twice. Yep. And then a negative times a negative becomes a positive, so it's plus 12 equals 7. I don't know. You'll have to excuse it. So graph them. If it doesn't line up, again, you do something else. I don't know what to do. So start at the beginning and walk on your side. Keep track of what you still can't after a good minute of walking through it.
Okay, so wasn't the y supposed to be?
No, remember the y is what we're replacing.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, I got so confused. And then
And now we have negative 2x and minus 2.
each after 7.
Each an x, right? Okay, so they're going to be distributed. Now the first like terms.
I had it written down, but I thought I did it wrong.
Okay, all right, then by system. What's on first?
So do I have -1?
Nope.
I thought because O.
Here. Look for distribution and then like terms to combine, right? Right, combine like terms. So you did the distribution. So now look for like terms to combine.
3x?
It's 1 minus 2. So that's a 1x, right? So you have a 1x. So what's 1 minus 2?
Oh, negative.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, what?
What are we doing?
So we got 2 on that.
You should have this. I mean, they're allowed, but not. They won't. We have x. We have minus 2x. What's a negative 1 times a negative 12?
Oh, it's negative. Oh, we didn't fully distribute.
You also forgot that you have an x out here. Okay, it's just right. Let's check that. Okay, we have 2x minus y equals n, and that is, so this is the process I go through. First, I make sure I go through count everything. So then x is equal to negative 2y, that is positive negative. That you combine the like terms, and you divide both sides by negative 5 is 2. And then you put the y and you put it back into this one. So x equals negative 2. That's what I mean when I say go away. You could have found that yourself.
A word? One at work. That's so fun. Dude, say. You know that? Yeah, I did it, but
Yeah, I need to get my food and I do that on like paper. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's easier and cheaper than just going to get them done. I do want to do that.
because they.
I feel like if I ever done it, yeah.
And I see pictures where it's like.
Oh, the horses.
Yeah. I'm so confused on what we're doing.
So negative, positive. Okay, now what's like terms?
We did, that's just, forget.
No, it's not. That's a negative.
So it's a big one.
You have $1. You owe me 2. Give me your $1. Still owe me $1. Yep. Okay, so that means you made a mistake. So move in here, walk yourself through, and we come back to the other day. Watch your sign, watch your easy multiplication division that day. Come on, let's go. Stop it. Buddy said stop. Watch your buddies.
Yes.
Sometimes
I need
here.
That's why I say yeah when I.
Yeah, but like,
Did you get negative?
Oh yeah, this one. It's just 7 plus 22. 0.
7,
7, 0.
0. So it's 0 plus 22.
That's why negative 2. I don't know if it's 7
Well, you can always that's your question.
and then this one, these two I don't know. I know.
Okay. So the 9 next to the parentheses means it's 9 times this expression. So I'm going to do 10. We're going to do 9 times 4y and 9 times 9. So what you do is you rewrite the 12 plus. Then you do 9 times 4y. What's 9 times 4? You can go get a calculator. There's a start 12.
Oh, that's what.
And then 9 times 1 is 9. And it's positive or plus sign. Negative or minus. Okay, so I've distributed. Now I'm going to look for like terms. The other 12 and the 9 are both just plain old numbers. That means they're like terms. So just rewrite the 36y, which is 12 plus 9.
12 plus 1.
There you go. That is the simplified version of that expression. We distributed and we combine like terms. That's going to happen every time. Look for distribution, look for like terms. Look for distribution, look for like terms. What do you look for first?
Distribution.
Then, okay.
Do I subtract from both sides? Or
Yes, always. Whenever you do one
That's
side, you
good.
always do the other. Golden rule of algebra. All right. You should have had some progress on both 15 and 17. Kudos to you. We will continue this tomorrow. Go ahead and pack it up. So darn short.
what is it?
Remember, if you're lost because you've been absent, maybe you're not quite where we are, come see me tomorrow during third period. I'll even give you passes if you want. So you can remember. Let me give you passes. Yeah.
I'm gonna come here during 3rd again.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get caught up online.
Sounds good to me.
Like just
Yeah, I did. Okay.
like if you need notes.
Oh, dude, I'm not ready for fifth period.
Make sure you sign out your or sign back in your Chromebook. Spencer and Luke, come get passes from me for tomorrow.
Hey, you're still in my moves.
Spencer and Luke, come get passes for you.